G'day everyone, Jason here with a review of the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four Wave. So we have Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, we have The Thing, or Ben Grimm, we have Johnny Storm, Human Torch, we have Marvel's Invisible Woman, which is Sue Storm, we have the Incredible Hulk, or Hulk, which is SheHulk, but she was going by the Hulk in this particular run. And finally we have Doctor Doom. And then we also have all of the relevant components to build a Super Scroll. So let's open these up and take a look at them out of the box. So here we have them out of the box, and I've got to say they look, what's the word? Incredible, amazing, superior. And just a little fantastic. So we have Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards, aka Dan from Toy Galaxy. So he's in the new style suit. I've got one of his extended hands on there, but he comes with two extended hands and two fist hands. The only issue I can see is that the extended hands don't have the black on the palm, which the fists seem to have, so it's a slightly different sort of costume, but I guess you could say that he's sort of extending part of his body or part of the costume and just extending the blue part only. And then we have Johnny Storm. So he comes with two sort of semi-translucent fists and two little pieces that wrap around his arms to give that flame effect. But he also comes with just two standard fists as well. And then we have Sue Storm. So she comes, she doesn't come with any spare hands. It's a really nice head sculpt. I'll have a look at that in a second. And she has this sort of shield, basically, which is her invisible powers, which connects onto her hand. And then we have the ever-loving blue-eyed Ben Grimm, and he is hefty. I didn't get the previous thing from the earlier Fantastic Four series, but he is chunky and just, you know, you could bench press him quite easily. He's much heftier than all of the other figures combined, but he's just really nice as well. And then we have Hulk, or SheHulk, but she was Hulk at this particular time, with the lines of gamma sort of irradiating from her body. She's got the more greeny grey body at the time, and she looks fantastic as well. And she also comes with a fist and an open hand. So I've got the combination of the fist and open hand, but you could have two open hands or two fists or a combination of both. And then finally we have Doctor Doom, and he is just a pretty amazing figure. The texture, the sculpt, we'll have a closer look at him in a second. And he comes with some fists, and he also comes with an alternate mask. So his mask is more of the traditional style. The mask that he's got on there is more of the modern style. So that is the figures. So let's have a quick closer look at all of them. Okay, so first up is Mr. Fantastic. I've got the light here so we can see him. So yeah, he's in the black costume from the current comic series. He has the distinguished grey on the side. He has the bearded look. He has all the standard sort of articulation, so I'll just go through the articulation, but basically, you know, shoulder goes up, goes out, spins around, double jointed, and he's actually got a very good double joint there. He can cover his face, oh no. Head up and down, side to side, a little bit of tilt, so that's pretty good. He has an ab crunch and back. He also has a waist twist, kicks up to about there, double jointed knee. Pretty good. He's actually quite flexible. And then he has nothing in the legs. There's no boot cut or anything like that, but there is a rocker and back and forward, and these very interesting sort of track and field style shoes with the grips on the heel and on the toes. But that is Mr. Fantastic, and I must admit, I do like the extended hand. It's just, you know, the fingers are bendable there, but it does look quite good, gives that effect of him stretching out. It would have been nice if he also came with maybe an extended arm or something like that, or an extended part of his body so that he could, you know, look like he's stretching upwards. But yeah, I think it's a really good likeness. I think the face is really good sculpt. The paintwork is all good. There's no sort of real issues with the paint. There's a little bit of blue lines on the back there as well as part of the design. But yeah, can't complain with Mr. Fantastic. So here we have Johnny Storm. So he's got his, he's in his new costume. As I said, I do have the translucent fist. If you can see there, you can see through the fist. You can see through the fingers of the hand. They do look really good under the lights. They actually are lit up quite well, and this can obviously go anywhere on the arm, but effectively you can have sort of trails of flame on each of his hands. He's in, as I said, the current costume, so he has the little printing on the back, but other than that he has all the standard sort of articulation. The head sculpt is quite nice. Does look like Johnny Storm from the comic books. Obviously doesn't look like the movie likeness or Captain America, but that is Johnny Storm. They are a little difficult to stand up with these little spikes on their shoes, but anyway. So next we have Sue Storm, or Invisible Woman, the Invisible Girl, all sorts of things she's been called over the years, but basically we'll take this off. So she comes with the standard sort of Marvel female body. She has the one hand in the spellcaster pose, I guess you would call it, and another hand in the fist. As I said, she is a little difficult to stand, but probably more so when she's got the invisible powers out. The head sculpt is pretty amazing. There's a wash in the hair. It just looks really good. There's some, you know, real sort of nuance to the actual hair sculpt. She's in the same sort of costume, same blue lines on the back as the guys, and they all have the Fwoar logo obviously on the front. There is a little bit of paint or just a bit of rub on her forehead there, but we'll fix that up. And then with her invisible shield, it does just connect on. It's a bit tricky. You've got to line it all up. I think all the fingers are supposed to go in there, but I found just putting the 3 fingers and then the thumb. So I don't know, hang on, if we can see that. So basically 1 finger out and the thumb down the bottom to sort of stabilize it, and she looks like she's throwing up an invisible shield. So that is Sue Storm. Next up is the boy from Yancy Street. He's almost, well, too big. As I said, like the heft of this figure, he feels like you're getting good plastic for money. So he's the sculpt is pretty amazing. I believe it is the same sculpt as the previous thing. He's got the head, looks pretty spectacular. You can see the blue eyes there if you get in underneath. Has a very, I don't know, Mike Waringo style to it, Ringo style to the head sculpt. Got a sort of a darker orange, but then there are patches of a lighter orange on the feet, on the arms, on the chest, and on the face to sort of give him highlights. He's got a rubber belt piece which is separate, but I think it is connected to the shorts. He has the shorts in the same color. He has, obviously, that's a rubberized piece there. His movement is pretty much the same as all the other figures, so it is just limited a little bit by his size, but obviously his head goes up, goes down a little bit. Well, you can sort of look down at people, which is good. And he has a little bit of sort of head wobble. He can sort of go to the side. You can get him on a little bit of an angle, quizzical sort of angle. So there is some good movement there, and it does move back and forward. Oh, okay, so you can, yeah, you can dig it right down like that, and then you can sort of bring it back up. So that's that, and then he has obviously arms go out, rotate all the way around. He has got limited, he doesn't have any sort of cut in the biceps, and he doesn't have a, you know, his elbow bend is not even 90, but you expect that from a big character. But he does have a very cool rocker, so he can lean forward, he can lean back on that. He has got a bit of side movement there. He also has a waist twist obviously there, but you just got to be careful of the belt. His legs are a little separated from his shorts, and I don't know if that's just he needs to be pushed on more, or if that's a thing with the thing, or a thing with this thing. But he has got double jointed knees, which go to about there, and then he has the big feet that will obviously rotate and forward and back movement. But he, just with his weight, once you place him on the ground, he's going to stay wherever you pose him. So he, as I said, apart from that little gap between his, and I don't know if you can get that any closer, that is Benjamin Grimm. Now he doesn't come with any other fists or hands, so he's just got the fists only, which is a bit of a shame. But and that belt is just slightly off center, which is annoying me, but it is stuck on that way, so I don't think I can really move it. But anyway, that is the thing. And the next one we have is Hulk, or She-Hulk. Again, real tall character. She does look pretty amazing. The hair sculpt with the hair sort of flowing back, the angry face, the green glowing eyes, and just a little bit of hair in front of her face is amazing. She's got all the sort of the scars of gamma irradiated energy coming out of her. She's in the ripped up jeans, and she's in, as I said, that greyish green body, ripped up t-shirt as well. And she's, you know, she's a massive figure, has all the same movement as the smaller figures, and has the two sets of hand. But I think her face sculpt is pretty amazing. She's a favourite of mine. Like She-Hulk herself is a favourite character, just because of the whole legal connection. But yeah, I think this one as the Hulk, where she's in the more aggressive greyish green style, looks really amazing. And I really hope that they do use this mold to perhaps make a standard green Hulk with a slightly less aggressive face, so that we do get a She-Hulk in her usual colours, but in this style would be really great. And then we have Doom. So obviously Doom comes with, he has the moulded cape, and it has a bit of texture to it. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a little bit of texture there. It does also help him stand up, so he has that sort of tripod effect, so you don't have to necessarily rest him on his feet, which is good. He has that metallic sheen to his armor. He's got the hip holster with a gun in there, and that you can actually take that gun out. The legs have a really sort of, you know, suit of armor style feel, which is great. The buckles are all sculpted on there. The sculpting on this is amazing. You know, they've got the pop rivets down the side. There's the hinge you can even see on his armor, where it sort of hinges around his leg and straps up on the inside. It's really well done. And then, you know, he has the standard sort of gauntlet. He has the elbow pieces, and there's a texture also to his actual tunic. He's got the big gold belt, the double belt around the front there, and then up here he even has the little gold chain holding it all together. And as I said, the mask is the more modern style mask, but you can see the eyes and a little bit of flesh in there behind it. It's a bit hard to see, but he also comes with this alternative sort of old school one with more pop rivets and things like that. in the mask. Again, you can see the eyes there as well. I'm not sure which one I'll put on. I have got Doom obviously previously in that old school style, so I think I will actually keep the more modern style for display. But that is Dr. Doom. And last but certainly not least is the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure. So here we have him with the smiley face on. He's also got the invisible arm, which is also extended using Mr. Fantastic's power. He has the Rocky Thing fist, but with Johnny's flames on it. His legs are just standard, but he also comes with an additional Skrull face, which is a more neutral or sort of angry looking face, and then he comes with 2 standard arms. So you can effectively have him as either just a standard Skrull, or you can have him as the Super Skrull, which obviously absorbs and uses the powers of the Fantastic Four. So he has all the same sort of articulation as the standard figures. He has a double elbow there. Oh, he actually has a pretty good bend on that arm. So it's obviously goes into a see-through, and it's got a slight pink variation on the end there so that it matches back into the rest of his body. He has the see-through fist. So when it's fully extended out, he has quite a bit of a reach. He then also has obviously the sort of Rocky miniaturized version of Thing's fist, and there's this attachment which just hooks on to the outside to give the flame effect. Other than that, he's pretty standard. He does have this sort of sculpted piece here. These are a little bit more flexible, and as I said, you can put on the standard arms if you just want him as a Skrull warrior. And he also comes with the neutral face, which I think is it's a good face. It's sort of the more angry sort of face, but I do like the smiling face. I think that's much better for the Super Skrull because he's all powered up, ready to go, and to take on the Fantastic Four. So there we have all of the characters in this series, and I've got to say this one is probably the first series for a long time where I have absolutely loved every single character. I can't find any real flaws with any of the characters, apart from the fact that Sue, being on the standard female body, is really hard to get standing. But apart from that, you know, they've outdone themselves. But from all of them, if I were to rank them from, I guess, 1 to 4 and then the other after that, I would have to say, I think SheHulk would be my number 1. I think she just looks incredible, which I can use because she is the Hulk in this particular run. So yes, she does look incredible. It's a really great sculpt. There's great detail, like the texture in the jeans that are all torn. It looks pretty amazing. She's got the bare feet, and as I said, it's that strange grey-green colour, together with the lines which represent, I believe, sort of gamma irradiating from her, that she's got that much power sort of coursing in her that it's cracking her skin. So that is my number 1 pick. Number 2 has to be the Thing, just for the sheer heft, that face, that, you know, the sculpt on everything looks pretty amazing. But he just feels so good in the hand, and I can see why everyone voted for the other version of the Thing as their number 1 figure last year. And you know, he's certainly a contender again for this year. I do like this face. I think this has more of a comic book feel to it. And then next, look, this is really hard. I think just purely for accessories and just for the sort of the aura, I think Doom. I think he looks really good in the armor, the texture, the buckles, all of the plate mail and everything like that. It does really look like a nice figure, and it's a really good update for Doom. He looks menacing. He looks like, you know, someone who should be the next big bad in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hint, hint. And then the last one of my top 4, I will say, is probably Reed Richards. And I think because I'm just a fan of Reed, as someone who has a fair bit of salt and pepper in his hair, I've always been a fan of a superhero that has the grey in the hair. The beard's a new look, but I am digging it, and I do like. I'm, you know, as I said, it would be much better if we had a lot of different options, stretching options for him. But I don't think we've ever seen the stretching hand sort of effect before, and it is something that he does quite regularly in the comics. So I do like that, and I do appreciate they're trying to do new and unique things for each of the characters, pun intended. And yeah, so they would be my top 4. So of the last 3, I think the next would be the Super Skrull. If I can get him to stand. I think just for sheer accessories alone, like with those, you know, the invisible arm, the thing arm, and the stretched arm, you know, all of those sort of things combined, and that sort of smirking sculpt of the face looks really, really good. So, you know, I can't complain about him as the Build-A-Figure. He's really good. And then it would have to be brother and sister as the last 2. I think Sue's probably got a nicer face sculpt, so I'll probably put her next, and then Johnny sort of last. And that's just purely probably because I'm not as much of a fan as Johnny Storm. I think Johnny is always much more interesting when he's in full flame mode than in his costume. He's just a little blonde kid basically when he's not in costume. But I do appreciate the translucent orange hands and those flame effects that go up. And the shield is the invisible sort of shield is a really nice effect as well. It gives you that sort of, when you're looking through it, that warped sort of perspective of, yep, she has got an invisible shield there. She's using it. It's a power that she does use, but of course, yeah. Oh, look at that, she stood. But yeah, the tricky thing is always trying to get her to stand. So there you go. There's the Fantastic Four series.